live from New York. It's Ask a Couple Engineers.
Hi everybody, and welcome to Ask the Engineer, your most fun engineer asking video on the internet. It's me, Lady Ada. With me is Mr. Lady Ada. We also have special guest engineer Tony DeCola here from Adafruit West. We are in the Adafruit factory in Manhattan, downtown New York. We got some eyeballs. Sorry, eyeballs. We got some snakes. We got a payphone.
Yeah.
We have all sorts of things going on, and we have an exciting show for you tonight. All sorts of Post Maker Fair goodies. So why don't we kick it off?
Yeah, on tonight's show, the code is super chill. It's time to be super chill.
Oh yeah.
It supports us, an open source hardware company. That's us on
Oh,
Earth.
we just took that photo.
We just took that photo not too long ago. And we are a company that is supported by you, the viewers out there. That's how we pay the bills, and we'll keep doing our thing as long as we can keep the lights on. Show and tell people around the world, showing and sharing their projects and their camera that's alive. We'll talk about that. Pack Mailbag will stop by. We'll read some letters you sent. Time travel, look back in the world of makers, hackers, artists, engineers, and events coming up. Some factory footage, stuff about Internet of Things, the Mr. Friendly Cloud Entity. We'll tell you about, well, we'll on behalf of the cloud, we'll tell you about Adafruit I/O Plus that's coming out, 3D printing, microbit news, Raspberry Pi, new products. We'll answer your question. We have a top secret thing tonight, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Oh my god, you can't even contain yourself.
Yeah. Trivia question, all that more on Ask an Engineer.
Huzzah.
Okay. Well, first up, hey
Yes.
Tony, good to see you.
Yeah,
Hey.
You came out
great
to
to
the
be
Maker
here.
Fair.
Yeah,
Good
exactly.
talk. We're going to do a little bit of Watch Tony's Desk Live.
Exactly, yeah. We'll
Tonight.
demo some live stuff. I have some blinky things on me, obviously.
Yeah, and folks
So-
can ask questions about Python and a lot of the tutorials and guides you've done. We'll get to that
Totally.
later on in the show. And I think, so I was at your talk. It was neat. You did one of the things that was kind of like watching the Iron Man movie where Tony Stark is like pulling out his arc reactor and there's a wire coming out, and that was kind of cool.
Right, adjusting.
Yeah.
Although mine's nicer because mine runs Python. So
Yeah.
the real Tony Stark, I don't think his does.
I think
It's
he
nicer.
was, I don't know, it's a good question for like the script writers or the Marvel people. What's the programming language? Because he like has the hologram stuff. that he
Yeah,
does.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll get to that soon. Reminder, code is super chill, 10% off all the way up to 11:59 p.m. tonight. Everything except for gift certificates and AdaBox. Programming note, you're watching Ask the Engineer. You can tell because it's 8 p.m. We just did show and tell. That was 7:30 p.m. Same day shipping in New York before you check out at 11 a.m. If you're in a zip code that we have it, it's there. UPS ground free, $200 or more. But freebies are coming back soon too. Get ready. On checkout, we have DHL for international customers. We also opened up more AdaBox locations too. I believe.
Yes.
Yeah, for sign up. So that's
Yep.
coming. But if you want to use DHL, you get taxes, prepaid, import fees. We also have an option for UPS now. It's working out.
What about the South Pole? Can I get an AdaBox delivered there?
I think we've managed to ship everywhere. AdaBox, you'd have to get it after subscribers.
Yeah. We
Okay.
do ship, but not as a
Not yet.
subscription.
Okay.
Not yet.
And not the South Pole?
Not yet.
Okay.
But you could order one that's in the store.
Yeah.
eventually.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah, that would
sure.
work. So, show and tell, Lady Ada. Oops. Who's on the show and tell?
Well, we had a whole bunch of exciting and wonderful people on the show and tell, including a whole plethora of Adafruit folks. Start off with Colin, who did a big update to Mo's Resistance. If you've played Mo's Resistance or you want to play it, it's our Learn Resistor Value game, available for iOS and hopefully soon Android, working on that. We did an update. It now runs the latest Unity. It's compatible with the latest iOS 11. He showed off some Unity details. So if you're interested, like, how do you actually build one of these apps? Check it out. He kind of went through a lot of the resources. Aaron is working on a really cool cyber beehive wig with Circuit Playground or Circuit Playground Express with fiber optic fibers, and they're glued to the Circuit Playground Express, and then it's sound reactive. So also a super neat project. She's working on the guide. Hopefully it'll be live soon, and we'll talk about it probably next week. Known Pedro, I've been playing around with the other mill / Bantam mill. They're working on 2-layer PCB hacking, so they're going to experiment with making a feather wing that's 2 layers, and how to connect layers through the PCB, and how to tin it and protect it. So they're kind of excited, taking their last PCB project to the next level. Scott is back at home, but he wants to say thanks to everybody for Maker Faire New York and Maker Faire Seattle. If you hung out, spent time on Discord, thank you so much. And of course, next week is Open Hardware Summit. He'll be there. Tony's going to be there. Check out the Discord if you're there. They'll have live chatting, and if not, you can also hang out in the live chat and pretend like you're there while you watch the live stream. It's kind of the same thing as being there, but you don't have to leave home. And he's working on a toast-driven controller. Will it run CircuitPython? I don't know. Question mark, question mark, question mark. Tune in next time for the thrilling conclusion. Orlando has a biomed shield he designed, and he's thinking of selling it on Tindy. But right now it's $100 of bill of materials. So he wants to get it cheaper, so he's experimenting with bill of materials slicing and dicing using an 8PDS light sensor with UV, maybe instead of some other more expensive sensor. We'll find out. Matt D, who was at Maker Faire New York, we hung out. He took a really cool photo of me with his Pi Glass. He gave us another Pi Glass demo. This time picture zoom in and using Android App Assist to play videos through the Pi Glass with an app. So that's cool, and he had a really good time showing off the Pi Glass at Maker Faire, and everyone really liked checking it out. And he got a cool logo made as well, thanks to somebody in Discord who helped out. I missed the name of that person. Azure previously had shown off a furry costume head that was really cool. It was like a blue cat, but those costume heads are really hot, and so now he's working on making a cooling system. And he'll come back and give us more updates soon on that. I'm a big fan. Adam went to Maker Faire New York, had a really good time, met all sorts of Discord folks, had fun. Now back to hacking on the scanning electron microscope again. It never ends at the scanning electron microscope party. O-ring failures, I'm gonna fix those, and then maybe get back to high pressure vacuum or high under pressure vacuum. I don't know how you say it. Lots of vacuuming. Coding Pro got an AdaBox 003 build, a temperature and humidity logger that goes to Adafruit.io using Feather and a DHT22. Having a really good time. Really cool project and a really nice build with big fonts. And is building a birthday app. So if you'd like to keep track of apps or your birthdays using iOS, write an app. I mean, like, you know, that's kind of what you do after school. You just build apps.
Yep.
It's very different than what I did. And then Sophie showed off her Maker Faire Seattle project, which we saw a video of. Super cool. Her little Pi friend. It's a collaboration with her husband. It's like a little like BMO-like robot that you hold. It has a Raspberry Pi. It has a face. It makes jokes. It makes funny, silly noises. It goes to sleep if you put it down. And it has a selfie mode where it thermal prints out pictures. It's just the most adorable Raspberry Pi project I've ever seen. It's kind of like we say it was like half annoying, half adorable. And then her cat also made a surprise appearance. That was show and tell. A lot of people.
All participants on the show and tell get it, as you know, on the show and tell sticker or other stuff I'll send you. Email support@adafruit.com if you're on the show and tell, and we'll take care of you. It's part of our Adafruit live series of videos, which now features Discord chat. So right now, some news. This is the first time we've added another place that we're broadcasting. Tonight we're broadcasting live on Vimeo.
Oh, they have streaming now.
Wow.
They do.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's Vimeo,
Vimeo,
Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, Twitch. I think we're the only entity broadcasting to all 5 places, like anybody.
What happened to Periscope, by the way?
Periscope's still in there.
Oh, yeah.
Is it 6 then? Wait.
They did 6?
Oh, 6, sorry, 6.
All of the streams.
All the streams.
Yep.
Is there anything we don't stream to?
There's a few other places that I'm playing around with.
But like nobody uses them?
I mean, it's just different video communities. I was looking at you now, but it seems like it's more like people talking about their day. I mean, maybe we'll do one of those.
We do Pirate TV.
Yeah,
broadcast
I think we are. Yeah,
exactly.
We have an antenna on the roof.
If you're near the Manhattan area, tune in to channel 13.
Beep, 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 beep.
So for Discord, that's where the chat is. And in Discord, we have a couple other fun things going on. Show your wonderful mistake. If you are in the show and tell or the projects channel, just post a photo of something that didn't work out. And just tag it Sparky. We'll take a look, and we'll send you out a pin. We'll get to it eventually.
That's cool.
Yeah, we're working on it. No Disc of Lady Ada this week.
Oh, we were at Maker Faire. Had a physical Disc of Lady
Yeah.
Ada. People came by and said hello.
That's right. And so before we go on to watch Tony live, I did want to do some CircuitPython news just real quick because it's kind of CircuitPython related. So we're getting to the point where CircuitPython is now getting used by the people we imagine it could be. So today in IEEE Spectrum, someone says build a costume with a wearable Gemma M0 microcontroller, and it says the Gemma M0 board embedded Python lets you change your code on the fly. And boy, that headline is exactly what
it's perfect. It's exactly what the Gem M04 wearables, where you want to be able to modify your code and get started really fast. And like it can drive tons of NeoPixels. We include when we ship the Gem, it comes with CircuitPython on it, and I even include the NeoPixel library, so you can just start typing code immediately. There's no downloads, no nothing.
So that's pretty cool.
So they liked it.
IEEE is kind of nice.
I'm also wearing CircuitPython wearables here. These are all Python powered.
This fall, CircuitPython.
That's the new hotness, exactly. I was in the fashion district, and that's what they're looking at.
Well, Python.
Yep.
The new fragrance this season is Python.
Python.
All right.
It's happening.
So at Maker Faire, and these are the photos that Tony, you took. So people can check out our Flickr, what is that?
Yep.
What's the Flickr destination?
Flickr feed.
Our Flickr channel, page,
stream,
account, our Flickrs. And you can look at some of the photos we took. And we also did some video while we're there. I'm getting that video up. We did a booth.
Mm-hmm. Live 1 hour Discovery data.
Yeah.
In person.
And then Tony did a talk, and that's what we're going to show some of now with a live Tony here. So here's the talk. At the end, you talked about CircuitPython. So this is the first official live Watch Tony D's desk live here at Adafruit. So do you want me to go to the computer?
Live from New York. It's Tony D's desk. Yeah.
The moment you've been waiting for. Do you want to go to your computer, Tony?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay.
So, yeah, what I wanted to do was at the Maker Faire talk, I did this in Seattle and at World Maker Faire, some demos of CircuitPython and just kind of show off some of the features. So the talk that I did was make with Python, and the context of it was just showing cool stuff you can do with Python on like Raspberry Pi, on your computer even with Python, and then all these cool boards that run Python like MicroPython boards and CircuitPython boards. And we ran into some technical difficulties with the World Maker Faire talk. It turns out that using a MacBook without a fan in 90-degree heat in direct sunlight, it's not a big fan of that. So half of the demos we got,
super chill.
It was not super chill, but it's super chill tonight. So what I wanted to start with real fast is I'm wearing two things. On my left here is a scrolling message. This is a NeoPixel shield for Arduino actually, but on the back of it I actually soldered the M0 board. Just a Feather M0 Basic actually is on here. So I have it animating these pixels, just scrolling a message across. It says World Maker Faire is fun, and I'm going to plug in my little scroller here, plug in my shirt, and then we will look at my computer real fast. And this I wanted to highlight, basically when you edit code, you can save it onto your device and it shows up as a drive. Okay, there we go, plugged in. Okay, so on my computer, we're looking at Little Tahoma, and let's open up a file. So you saw the CircuitPy drive just popped up right there, so let's open that up. And this is pretty cool because this is showing the files that are on this board, so it's just like it's a little drive. And if you'll notice there's this main.py, so if I open that thing up in my text editor right here, it looks pretty familiar. This is Python code. And in the talk that I gave, I wanted to just kind of whet everyone's appetite to show you what Python looks like, and that it's maybe not super scary. If you're new to programming, like this is kind of English, and you can write programs in a way like at the top here, I put values that you can change. So this top is the color right here. So this is the color of the text that's scrolling across. And the way you represent colors with 3 numbers, red, green, and blue, so they're separated by commas. So this is a red value of 50, and then 0 for green and blue. But let's change this. So let's say, let's go bright, 255 blue for the color. So that's full blue. And then let's change the message. So we'll just say, how about ask an engineer is super chill tonight. So we'll do that.
That's the code.
Exactly.
10% off.
You can change other things, but so I'll save this. So I'll go into File and Save in my text editor. And I'm just using any text editor. So whoa, if you look in the screen here, it just turned blue and it's pretty bright. And we're scrolling the message across. So as soon as I saved this onto that drive that showed up over here, the board saw the change and it immediately reran the Python code. And so this highlights one of the strengths of Python is that the code is interpreted so that you can change the code, the board will rerun it. You don't have to have this compilation step like in Arduino where you make the code ahead of time, you press a button, you upload it, it lives on the board. You can't go and dynamically change Arduino without actually getting all the tools installed. And there are disadvantages and advantages. So interpreted code, and I talked in the talk, it's maybe a little bit slower, but for things like scrolling a message, you can see this is plenty fast. You know, this is good enough to do some cool, fun stuff with it. So that was one demo that I wanted to show here. The other thing I'll show is my arc reactor that's over here on the right. So this is also CircuitPython powered. This is a Circuit Playground Express that I put a little ring of NeoPixels around, a 24 pixel ring, so that I just added some extra lights to it. So I just plugged that in, and I'm going to show something different with this one. So for this one, I'm going to open a terminal, because this is another really cool feature of Python and MicroPython and CircuitPython. You can access a Python prompt, or we call it a REPL, a read, evaluate, print loop. And what I'm going to do is connect to that. So I use the screen program, which just connects to a serial device, and I give it the right baud rate to connect to it. And now I'm connected. It doesn't look like anything because the code is running right now. But if I press Control C, that interrupts the code. You see my arc reactor just stopped because I just told it to stop what you're running. And if I press enter, I'm now at a Python prompt. And so I can say, okay, hey, print hello world. And that's Python that just executed. And what happened there was, through this little cable that's connected to me, it sent that text, print hello world. It sent the Python command to the board. The board ran it and then sent the result back to my computer. So it's not my computer that's running this. It's actually the board that's on my chest right here. And then I did some fun stuff. So I can import a module called Arc Reactor, because in Python, you can put code into a module that you want to reuse. So rather than type all that code in at the REPL, I saved it on the board ahead of time. So I do that, and that gives me access to some functions and things on here. And in Python, this dir command kind of shows you what's inside of a module. So this has like the names of the functions and variables that I put in there. And so there's some fun functions in here like clearing and setting the color. But I also made a color module. So if I import color, then that gives me access to a few different colors. So I don't have to type in all those color numbers. Like if I want to use the color of violet or fuchsia or cyan or whatever, I can reference the colors inside of here. So let's call arcreactor.color, and we'll give it color.fuchsia. I just press tab. It's kind of nice. It has auto completion, so it's smart about knowing what's in the module. All right, I'm going to press enter. Whoa, bright.
That
it's
worked.
blinding.
It's
Yep,
fuchsia.
exactly. So that's really cool because I just sent that command to this board and it ran it. And I think this is great if you're just beginning and getting started. One big thing is you kind of have to learn like how to compile a program and how to upload it. Now you don't really have to do that. Like if you just want to blink an LED, you can connect to your board, run the command to turn it on, run the command to turn it off, and you can kind of intuitively start to read and understand how these things work.
The trial and error is a lot faster.
I like you can
Yeah.
you can tweak the color of your project instead of like recompiling and uploading the code every time or
Yep.
trying to create like an Arduino parsing code, which never works. You can just up arrow and then
Right.
edit and then return. So
You could even do it from your phone potentially. Like Android phones, you can plug in serial devices on some of them and get some of these little applications to do it. So the other thing I'll show real fast. I added some things because on Circuit Playground we have buttons. So I have like a button B, for example. I can say button B.value, and that returns true. Sorry, it's not a function. It's nice. It tells you when you do something wrong. It gives you a good error message. So I'm not pressing button B, but if I press button B, which I can't read it because it's so bright, it looks like, okay, it's this one. So I'm going to press button B, and I'm going to run this again. And hey, it's true. So that's pretty cool. And then if I want, I can say, well, let's put in like some code here. So I can say I can have this run forever in a loop. So an infinite loop in Python looks like this, while true. And then if arcreactor.buttonb.value, so if I press button B, let's have it light up a color, and we'll say color, how about violet? We'll do that. Else, if I'm not pressing the button,
this is like intense. You're like writing
oh,
freehand
this is
Python.
Yep, it just flows out of me, just stream
Wow.
of consciousness. Well,
Yeah.
and the cool thing is it's English, right? Like you can kind of understand this, even if you're not a programmer or a Python expert. You can read it and say, while true, okay, maybe I don't know what true means, but while something happens, if this happens, then that. So that's
Self-documenting code is
right. One of the
yeah.
advantages of Python is it was meant to be readable and expressive, but I have a clear function that just turns it off. So we'll do that. And then I de-indent this to tell Python, because in Python the white space is how it knows when some code is related to other code. But I press enter, now it's running. So I'm not pressing the button, so nothing's happened. But I press the button and whoa, I get a violet-ish color. Maybe I set the color wrong, but there's definitely lighting up a color for that. So it's kind of cool, and that's just showing I can type in Python code directly this prompt and start running this stuff and get the results immediately. So you've got a really cool feedback loop. And then like you saw before, if I wanted, I could save this as that main.py file. So every time my reactor runs, it will go back and execute the code. When I'm at this REPL thing, I can actually press Control C. That stops that little loop I started. And then if I want it to just go back and run the reactor code, Control D just resets the board, and now it's running that main code again for this. So pretty fun. I think this is kind of cool to just highlight what you can do with boards that run and interpret the code in real time like that.
Okay, we had 2 questions from the chat. First one, how did you tell it what button B is?
So, well, here, I'll show you. So if I look at the code on the board, I added this arcreactor.py, and this is just Python code I wrote ahead of time that just knows about on Circuit Playground Express. There's certain digital inputs and outputs that are connected to like the NeoPixels. So I just had this initialize them ahead of time. So this line right here is where I say, okay, button B is a digital input output. that's connected to board button B. So the board module lets you identify all the buttons and pins and things. And then I just switch to an input. And on this board, you want to set a pull down resistor so that when it's pressed, you see it as a high value, and when it's not pressed, it's low. So.
Okay, and then the most important question is, what is that picture on your desktop?
Oh, that is Little Tahoma, smoky sunrise on Little Tahoma. It's on Mount Rainier, about 11,000 feet. So I was there 3 weeks ago. It was pretty intense.
And you took that photo?
I did, yes.
That's cool.
And I actually got above Little Tahoma. I was up to 12,400 feet, so that was wild.
All right. Thus concludes the live edition of Watch Tony D's Desk from the Adafruit Factory.
Cool.
Woo!
Excellent.
Okay.
And no thermal throttling, so that was a success.
Yeah, we're keeping it chill here.
Yep.
Super chill.
Super
No
chill.
videos from JP this week. He's walking around with a Metro Express. These are some photos of the giant Metro Express that he made and brought to Maker Faire. All right.
Yeah, he got that CNC router working on his previous videos, and then he made a gigantic Metro.
He's like Atlas, he has to carry that Metro forever.
Yep.
Yes, it's his burden.
Yep.
Back to the mailbag. All right. Every week we read these letters to everyone at the company at our State of the Fruit meeting. We also read them here. Lady Ada, why don't you read this one this week?
Dear Adafruit team, over the past couple months, I've ordered the Arduino Ardex kit, some miscellaneous small parts, and most recently a new soldering iron with all the accessories. It was a major upgrade over my first iron, which was a Christmas present that came from Horror Freight. Horror Freight's actually kind of funny. It's like a Halloween version. By upgrade, I meant it was actually powerful enough to heat rosin and keep warm enough to work with. I'm constantly learning new concepts with the wonderful Adafruit learning system, and the videos are a constant source of inspiration. As I've gone from my first breadboarding to soldering my first through-hole project, I now feel confident I can make whatever I set my mind to. I guess you could say you guys have led me to all of the right tools for the job. Rock on, guys. Catch you on the show and tell. Chance.
All right.
Thanks, Chance.
And you can also call OwnBitStab, which is our phone. It's right there. You can leave a message when it's not on, and we'll sometimes play those. Time travel. Look back in the world of hackers, makers, artists, engineers, discoveries that are interesting. Happy birthday, first paper published on special theory of relativity,
You
1905.
love that stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, still working.
Yeah.
Well, and it was proven correct with what was the one gravity
It's
research
been a few
years ago.
times. Yeah, there's a
exactly.
satellite, and it's like most of the stuff works out. Quantum mechanics still super weird, but that also works out. But happy birthday, a long time ago.
That's cool.
Yeah.
We're 100 years old.
Okay. Next up, 2015, we hit our 100,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yay!
Yay, we did that.
I think
And
we're close to 200,000, right?
we're over that.
Yeah.
250.
Yeah.
And on our site, this month is National Hispanic Heritage Month, highlighting everyone this month that our authors are celebrating. And then coming up soon, 10/10, October 10th, that is, it's Ada Lovelace Day.
Ooh.
So we'll have some stuff around that. Ooh,
Coming up.
open source hardware. We make it.
Yeah.
Late Ada, we have some guides.
We had a bunch of guides. We actually published a whole bunch today,
Yeah.
which is super exciting. Okay, so we had the Ultimate YouTube Live camera. That was last week's project.
Yep.
This week we have a video and project from Erin for the fiber optic whip.
We're going to show the video after this.
It's a really cool project. She loves to use fiber optics, and it's a challenging material to work with, but she's gotten really good results. So she shares all her knowledge. And this is like a dancing ribbon whip, so it's kind of cool for events. And we'll show the video shortly. I published a guide on using microbit with Arduino.
We'll save that to the microbit
And we'll
section.
talk about that in detail, but if you have a microbit and you want to use it with Arduino or with Bluetooth or whatever, check out this guide. And we have a guide from Sigafus in the Discord chat, who has written up a really lovely CPU temperature logging project using CircuitPython. In this case, they used a Gemma, but you can use any CircuitPython board, and it takes advantage of CircuitPython 2.0, which added storage, which means you can now store data onto the local file system, so you can like log data directly to the little SD card or flash memory that's on the Feather M0 or the Gemma. And this project shows how to basically get started with that storage module, how to turn on and off read-write support, and how to read the microcontroller temperature on the SAMD21 to make a all-in-one temperature logger with no extra components needed.
Okay, we have 1,291 guides. Good work.
Almost
Good work, both of you,
1,300.
by the way.
That's wow.
Yeah,
You're under 1,300.
hug report for Tony and to you for being, I guess, one of the biggest resources online for people learning this stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are prolific.
Not just us. I mean, there's lots of people who made the
Yeah,
guides.
you're just sitting here right
yeah,
now.
you can, sure.
It's for everyone.
Well, I like
Yeah.
that we're getting people from Discord doing guides and projects. It's this isn't a crazy intense project, but it has a lot of detail that people need, and
Yeah.
so having people from the community write guides or write up what they're working on, I think is fulfilling for them. We send them free hardware and other goodies,
Yeah.
and they get to see their name in lights.
All right, and one of the guides that Lady talked about came with a video. Let's play it.
Cut one of the outer legs off the on-off switch and trim the other two down a bit. Solder two 6-inch wires onto the switch and cover with heat shrink. Use pliers to flatten the legs of your button and solder a 6-inch white and black wire to the legs on one side. Cover them with heat shrink and cut off the legs on the other side. Carefully cut the trace between the two switch pads on your backpack charger. Solder the wires that come from your switch into those two holes. Solder the included header onto the backpack charger. Attach it to the Pro Trinket, lining up the battery and ground pins. Trim the legs close, and then plug in a battery to be sure the switch is working. Solder 3 6-inch wires to your NeoPixel Jewel. Use white for in, red for power, and black for ground. Solder the white wire to pin 5. Tin the plus and minus pads on the back of the Pro Trinket and solder the red and black wires from the NeoPixel Jewel to these two pads. Flip the switch and be sure your light comes on. Add your mode changing button by soldering the white wire to pin 3 and the ground wire to the remaining ground pin on the Pro Trinket. Be sure everything works and all your solder joints are tight before putting it in the case. First, place the on-off switch into the rectangular hole on the side of the handle. Then, settle the Pro Trinket into the bottom hole and secure it with hot glue, being careful not to get any glue in the USB port. Glue the on-off switch in place and settle the battery inside the handle. Add some gaffer's tape to the back of the mode switch button and tape it in place, making sure the wires feed through the channel below the hole. Place the NeoPixel jewel inside the handle so it aligns with the ridge inside the case. Be sure everything still works and make sure you didn't lock any wires loose. Add some more gaffer's tape to the handle of your fiber bundle so that it fits snugly into the top of the handle. Hang your whip up and trim the individual fibers to different lengths to create a beautiful cloud of colored lights. If you like this video, be sure to let us know in the
Okay, and then last week, Lady Ada, during all that Maker Faire stuff, during all the visitors, all things we did, we also launched the latest
AdaBox.
AdaBox.
Simple
Oh,
5.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And
People has them.
AdaBox 5 Live.
Yeah, did it live, and did a time-lapse video of the unboxing, and then we went through all the different projects, all the different things. Which is kind of neat is these shipped out really fast, and so there's people who got them in the morning, built them by the end of the day, and then came on the show and tell. So that was kind of neat.
Yeah, this was neat. This was, well, it's not too spoilery, but it's a Pi Zero based with a Joy bonnet.
Yeah.
This was one of our most advanced kits, but people really liked it. People showed up on Twitter and on Show and Tell and said, hey, I in Maker Faire, and said I built my own game.
Yeah, I think especially young people who this is intended for. This is the first time they're gonna build their own video game system. That's pretty cool.
All in one.
Yeah. So we have a neat little treat. So you probably saw the pin, and the pin's name is Joy. Joy's a new character in Circuit Playground now, and we also have this fun little project where this is a real game controller, and Joy, much like Sophie's project that was on the show and tell, this is just the start of it. Joy's friendly. It's a friendly game controller that'll talk to you, say, hey, like, you're playing video games, maybe it's time to take a break, or good work, like, maybe it's time to take a break. Yeah. Or in my case,
Are you getting tingly arms? Time to take a break.
yeah. Or in my case, like, hey, Mario Kart is a fun game, but Lady Ada looks at resources online that help her in the game, and then she beats me in the game because she looks at all the tips and tricks. So maybe Joy could tell me that you did that.
She's cheating.
It's
Oh,
not
wow.
cheating,
Yeah.
but you know, I have a limited time where I can beat you in a video game until then it's over.
Yeah.
So it's a very
I don't know what you're doing in the morning. Maybe you're looking at tips and tricks.
My problem is I'd be looking at Joy while I'm trying to play, and
Yeah.
so it might be
I kind of want to add like a.
gameplay.
I want to add like the Sophie thing where it like it giggles and goes
Oh
to
yes,
sleep.
Yeah.
yep.
We should do
sound.
that. Yes, a lot of space in here, but it's fully 3D printed. It's
Yeah.
really nice.
So we'll see. This is going to be one of the new additions to the Circuit Playground family.
A cute puppet.
Yeah. All right. So next up, the big news that we talked about on our blog today is we're now taking subscriptions for AdaBox 6, and we opened up for UK, Germany, and France. We'll have room for 200 subscribers there. So go to adafruit.com/AdaBox, and of course we have a trailer for the new upcoming AdaBoxes. Just keep in mind, some of these are ideas. We didn't do them.
They're concepts.
We have an idea. Rats.
Let's start over. We'll just fix it in post.
So yeah, my two-state button thing. I'm just gonna back up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So anyways,
Okay.
It's all good.
As we were.
as we were.
Yes.
So I have some
Arduino.
Arduino news from Maker Faire.
Yes.
And the Arduino news is good things happen, wishes come true. And I remember what I was going to say, so I'll just say it again. Yeah.
Just repeat yourself.
Yeah. Every year, Massimo Bonzi does the State of Arduino. It's a milestone of kind of in our maker movement. Here's the good news that came out of Maker Faire. First up, Arduino's back to the founders. The .org, the two different sites, now it goes to .cc, one site. Next up, the files that weren't open source before, they're trying to get them. They're doing the best they can, and they recommitted to open source themselves. They're going to engage with the community more. They're going to do a bunch of stuff in the community. They also announced a couple boards. First one, Lady Ada, since you're into this is the MKR WAN. What is this?
WAN.
Yeah.
This is a LoRa radio, which is actually, it's funny, they had a guessing game. I guessed right. That wasn't a very difficult guess because they had recently done a Sigfox board, and if you're doing Sigfox, LoRa is kind of the next thing. So this is another long-range radio protocol, and it's the same kind of MKR format where they have a SAMD21 core over there on the left, the micro USB connector, and then this one, instead of a LiPo battery, it looks like you can just use any AA batteries or so, and the screw terminals connect up. And on the right, there's the LoRa module with an antenna connection, so you can hook it up. Probably 900 megahertz and 400 megahertz is going to be what they do for this board. So this is coming up in a couple months.
Next board.
This is a 3G maker board. So this one, same thing, SAMD21, and right there in the middle, you see that ginormous U-Blocks Sarah U201. This is the same module that's used in the particle board. So U-Blocks is definitely getting the maker community going. Like they've got the modules that people like. And yeah, this is a 3G, so it can be used worldwide, US, Europe, whatever. And it can do some audio apparently. There's a SIM card slot in the bottom and an antenna connector. So cellular. So it's kind of cool. They're catching up to the high tech, the most recent technology that people are interested in, which I kind of like.
Okay, so that's Arduino news. Arduino, congratulations. I wrote the article 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know. Why Arduino won, why it's here to stay. Arduino is such a good idea, getting people into physical computing. No matter what happens in technology, how companies work, whatever, it didn't matter. Arduino is still here. They're still standing, one of my favorite songs.
Still standing?
Yeah, so best wishes and everyone at Arduino.
And the maker format is cool. I like it. I mean, like it's like bigger than the feather. They can do more.
Yeah.
And it's official.
They
but
call it's MKR.
The idea is good.
It's MKR or Maker?
I call it Maker.
Okay.
But I kind of try to like swallow the E, so it's like Maker.
Okay.
Maker.
Next up, we have some factory footage. Let's do it. So this is where we usually start the videos. This is the sunrise at Adafruit. It's what the pick and place see out the window. And we have some videos, and they have some music.
Nice.
And this time I'm going to make sure I operate the mute button properly. It's very deceiving. factory footage. This is a tester that we
This
made
is the new product tester.
for the new product.
Isn't that nice?
That is
Yeah.
super chill.
It is super chill.
Well, it's a little warm.
Yeah,
Now
maybe
it's
not,
hot,
yeah.
chill, hot, chill.
And we also have, of course, for every sunrise, there's a sunset. This is outside the window. And that's using a Raspberry Pi time-lapse camera.
Oh, nice cloud formations.
Yeah. Okay, Nimbus-friendly cloud entity. Big news in a few days, maybe week. Adafruit IO, your favorite place to use your internet-connected devices to do cool dashboards, data logging, and more. We have the Plus version coming out, so it's pay model, $10
Yeah.
a month.
Wow.
We'll always have the free version. A lot of people want more feeds, so stay tuned for that.
Yep, and it'll help us fund even more cool add-ons.
Yeah, that's what they want. No more add-ons.
Everyone wants more add-ons.
Okay. 3D printing. Noah and Pedro have a bunch of projects. They have a lot of videos. And this week we have a time lapse. And don't forget, 3D Hangouts every Wednesday with Noah and Pedro. A couple things they had this week. This was building Joy. There was making PCBs with CNC milling. And also, this
Joy
was
bonnet.
the inspecting parts in Eagle, layer by layer.
That's cool.
Okay.
Yeah, they're learning EagleCAD. They're really into it.
I know you've been waiting to talk about this idea. We have a very cool microbit project this week.
Ooh, excellent.
Like, super cool. So every Monday...
Is it super chill?
It's super chill. And every week we have Microbit Monday where we post stuff, but this is cool because if you have a microbit and you also play around with Arduino, you can now use the microbit with Arduino.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah, I wrote this guide a couple weeks ago, and then I actually got to finish it. It's the how to use a microbit with the Arduino IDE. So when you get the microbit, which is this little learning computer microcontroller for students or adults or whoever who wants to learn electronics and making and coding. You know, the first programming language we'll probably use with it is MakeCode, which is a Blockly, Scratch-like drag and drop programming system. And that's really fast to get going, and it's pretty powerful, but if you want to do something that isn't already supported within MakeCode, it gets a little challenging. Like, they give you all these ready-to-go blocks, but if you don't have a block that does exactly what you want, you're kind of like stuck. You have to write the low-level code yourself. And then you can also use MicroPython, which is what CircuitPython is based on, and that's really cool because it's interpreted so you can write code, dynamically, and you can use Python to write programs. But with Python, you're limited. Like, you don't have a lot of memory, so you don't have a lot of control of what you can do. Like, you can't use the Bluetooth low energy stuff. You can use the radio, but not Bluetooth. And so we thought it would be really neat to show, like, the third popular platform that you can use, which is Arduino. So I wrote a wrapper library that lets you basically have the matrix scroll and the temperature sensor work. And you can use it with our Bluetooth app. I'll do probably a Disco Lady in the next week or so where I talk about all the stuff in detail and demo it. But you can use the microbit to send data to an app, our Bluetooth Connect app, using Bluetooth on Android or iOS, or even a desktop app if you really wanted to. And then I also show how to take data from the microbit and send it through our app to Adafruit IO for data logging. So you can have a wireless, internet-controlled microbit, either sending data to or from. So that's kind of a more advanced project, but it's not too hard to do. And the Arduino support for this chip is pretty good. So you have a lot of space and a lot of capability that you can do, and then you can take advantage of the hundreds or thousands of Arduino projects that already exist. And a lot of them will just work.
Okay. Good project.
So try it out.
Raspberry Pi News, they have a space contest coming up soon, so I thought I'd help get the word out. Here is the trailer and more information about the Raspberry Pi Space Project in the EU.
In 2015, we sent 2 Raspberry Pis to the International Space Station. Now, Raspberry Pi Foundation and the European Space Agency are searching for the next generation of space scientists to write code for them. Once you're registered to take part, we'll send your school a free AstroPi kit. And working as a team, we want you to write an experiment using the Python programming language. The very best will be sent to the ISS and overseen by a European Space Agency astronaut. When your data comes back to Earth, you'll complete your experiment and the best will win some incredible prizes. The AstroPi Challenge is open to all 24 ESA member countries, including associate countries such as Canada and Slovenia. You don't need to be an astronaut to work on the International Space Station. So get your team together and get involved, because space is waiting.
Space and
Okay.
beyond.
All right, well, before we get on new products, the code is super chill. Use it before 11:59 p.m. tonight. Lead date, it's time.
Yeah.
Sing your song.
New, 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 new.
Okay, let's do it.
New.
What
Okay.
you got? What you got this week?
All right, well, we got, starting off, we have this Mongoose OS kit. So Mongoose is a real-time operating system that you can use with a variety of different chips, but it works really well with the ESP32, and we have an ESP32 Feather. So when Mongoose wanted to get like a IoT starter kit going, we're like, hey, you know, let's put together an ESP32 Feather-based IoT kit, and you can follow their instructions to use the Mongoose OS, which is again the real-time operating system that manages threading and your commands and your internet and your Wi-Fi and everything. It's kind of neat. They have a really cool installer. What I liked about the installer is that it has a chat program built in.
Yeah, it pulls in Gitter, and while you're in the IDE,
Wow.
it pulls in Gitter.
So you can chat with people while you're coding.
Is it JavaScript based? I want to say the language. They have a JavaScript interpreter.
Yeah, I actually didn't get that far. I got it up and running, and then
like that.
it's
high
running.
level languages.
It's high level, but it's interesting because the ESP32 is really powerful, so you can do a pretty advanced real time operating system with it. So check it out. This is Mongoose's kit. And if you have questions, check out their Gitter channel because they're doing support there, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Okay. Next up.
We have a Arduino or Metro box. You can use it with either. You can actually use it with anything that's kind of Arduino shaped. So let me show this off. So it's pretty nice. What I like about this is it's simple, and it has these slots in it that you can then plug a shield through. It's a kind of a low rider enclosure. It doesn't go really high, and that means it's very easy. You can plug in shields, so I can show that really fast. So this is the enclosure, and it snaps apart, and it's clear, which I like. It's got these sort of like vent holes. I don't know why, but it has these mounting slots, which are also really handy. So this goes in like this, and it comes with screws that you can attach to make it a more permanent connection. And then this just snaps on. And you can see as long, you can use with a Metro or an Uno or Leonardo, or pretty much anything that's Arduino shaped. And then these nice, it has this really cool little button here, so you can reset your board.
Oh, wow.
It'll press the reset button for you, this little nub. And then it has slots for the SPI and GPIO pins.
Wow.
So you can just plug the shields on top like that. It's super easy.
That's pretty cool.
It's very compact.
Yeah.
I like it. This is a good case at a good price, so put it in the shop.
Okay.
Try it out.
Next up, servos.
Yeah, we have this cool
got
servo. This
servos.
servo is from Parallax. They had this custom made for them. So we've had these analog feedback servos for a while that give you analog positioning, but they weren't continuous rotation. And the reason you can't have them be continuous rotation is because the potentiometer inside that is usually used for the positioning control, they only move 270 degrees. Like you don't have a full rotation potentiometer. That doesn't work that way. Potentiometers can be multi-turn, but they can't be 360 degree. So in this case, what they did is they put in a Hall effect sensor and a little magnet on the wheel somewhere. And what happens is when you connect this up and you control it like a normal servo, that yellow wire will give you a pulse width that tells you what position the servo is at. So you can do your own feedback control, or if you're using it as a motor wheel, you can count the rotations or sub-rotations because it gives you a full pulse width depending on the location. You can tell your speed. You don't have to worry about centering it because you always know exactly where you are. It's like pre-calibrated. So it's a little bit more expensive, but it's pretty sweet because it basically comes with an encoder on it. And so this is the servo shell, and I kind of took it apart and to show, but this is the normal servo control. It's got a nice beefy motor with the gear. And then this is the AS 5600, which I've heard of. It's a Hall effect sensor, and it connects up through the power wires and gives you that feedback line. So if you're doing robotics, this will make it really easy to be like, this is, it's a little bit more expensive, but all the add-ons is still cheaper than if you had to DIY this yourself. And it just works out of the box.
And you know if the wheels are slipping, so like
Yeah.
you can know if you've not moved as far as you thought. Like good for position tracking, pretty important.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then there's the magnet. Oh sorry, can I show the magnet really fast? So this is the magnet on the back. So as this rotates, this magnet twists. So that's how you know the position. It's pretty cool. Very nice. It's very intense. It's a retool, this whole design. Probably made by Futaba. It doesn't quite say the maker, but they tend to partner with Futaba to get their high quality servers made.
Okay. And the star of the show tonight, besides More and Tony, is this. That's our new product.
Ooh.
We have now a feather wing version of the AMG 8833, which is a very popular thermal camera sensor. So this camera from Panasonic, it's called the Grid Eye, and you basically get 8x8 grid thermal camera, and it's not a lot of pixels, but it's enough that you can do, you know, you can see something moving. You can it can get absolute temperature if you want. Like I'm basically transforming it into a colorful image on a TFT. And because it's a feather wing, it's really easy. You just plug it into your feather board and get going with your thermal project. And you know, it's not going to be 200 by 200 pixels like a FLIR camera, but it also doesn't cost as much. So if you can deal with having a lower resolution, you might find this very handy. And if you have a fast feather, you know, like a Teensy or like an ESP32 and ESP8266, what you can do is you can do bicubic interpolation. So even though this is still getting 8x8 data, it makes it look like it's more high resolution by interpolating. So, you know, you can...
How far can it sense away?
Yeah, let's see.
Was a
It's
question.
about 10 feet. You can see like my
Might
hand.
be able to see the lights on that too, Lauren.
It's way too
Oh,
hot.
yeah, those things
That's
are
too hot.
Those
Too
are
hot.
not super chill.
Yeah, so you can see like my hand going back and forth. It's 10 hertz, and it can run about, I think it's 10 meters away. It can detect a person. And yeah, on a slower feather, oh shoot, I reset it. On a slower feather, you can only get the 8x8 pixels, but this is running a TC 3.2 feather. So you get, you can do up to 24 by 24. So that's what you get with 8x8. And we have this as a breakout, so if you want just as a breakout format, get that. If you're looking to use this with a feather, we put it on and put the sensor nice and centered on the feather wing, so really easy to make thermal camera projects or human detectors or motion detectors.
Okay, and with that is the new products. Good work. Yay. Don't forget, the code is superchill. 10% off in the Adafruit store, all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Lady Ada, we have some top secret tonight.
You can tell you're not super chill, you're super warm.
I'm always running a fever, it
Okay.
seems. From the Adafruit Vault, you have something you wanted to show.
Yeah, we have a couple of fun things. We got this neat. Did you want to show this?
Well,
No?
that's just from Maker Faire.
That's from Maker Faire.
Let's
So I
do the top
also have
secrets.
some U blocks.
Yeah, we
Ooh.
got this from Maker Faire. This is just the Tanit badge. Like it's they're of it. This is known to be out. So this is just fell into the secret safe.
Yeah.
But it's not a secret.
Okay. Yeah, I got this U-Blox sensor a while ago, or like U-Blox cellular module. This is the 3G. And I was chatting with them about LTE, because I'm very interested in LTE Cat-M or Cat-1 modems, because the 3Gs are very power hungry, even more so than the 2Gs, but the LTE Cat-Ms are less power than 2G, and you get to use the full LTE network.
Okay.
Now it's super clear. So, you know, you got audio out here and a lot of level shifting. This is like, I think, 1.8 volts.
Okay.
But,
That's not out.
sim action, not out yet.
And that's it?
Don't ask.
Okay. Back in the vault. Okay, we're going to do some questions. Woohoo! All right.
Yeah.
Type your questions in the
Cool.
Discord chat. First one, Lady Ada, is what's the difference? What's the advantage of the feedback servo over an external rotary encoder?
It's just nice because all in one. You don't have to mechanically attach anything. You just get the signal right out, and it's pretty much perfect.
Okay. Is there a way to modify the Bluefruit app? How would I go about making my own? We put the code up.
The code is up on GitHub. You are kind of on your own. We don't offer support for that. We have an example Bluefruit app. Check out the learning system. We posted up basically a skeleton of a Bluefruit app if you'd like to make your own. And the code for the Bluefruit Connect app is also up, but it's a more complicated project. So you're going to have to put a little bit of effort in as you learn Swift.
Okay. Tony D, how do you make an Arduino project a CircuitPython project?
Excellent. Excellent question. Yeah, there's no button yet, unfortunately. But yeah, I would say, I mean, if you're totally new to Python, learn Python first, and that doesn't mean you have to like learn the entire language, but get familiar with it a little bit. And the same constructs in Arduino and Python are similar. So, you know, Arduino has a concept of like a for loop, and so Python has the same thing. And so maybe just slowly kind of learn, okay, here's how you do a for loop in Python versus Arduino. And then you just have to figure out like what API do I call to light an LED in Arduino versus Python. So that's maybe the best advice so far, is to just look at two examples. And I've done a couple guides, the fidget spinner and there was another one, but check out our CircuitPython guides. And I've done some that actually have an Arduino version, a CircuitPython version. And there's one maybe top secret also, the mega demo for Circuit Playground. I've ported that to CircuitPython, so look forward in the next few weeks. That's a good one that shows all kinds of animations and neat features, so you could see Arduino versus CircuitPython and which one works.
Okay. What's the name of this servo, Lamar?
This is the Parallax high-speed digital feedback servo.
Okay. Do you recall the number of steps on it, or should they just look at the product page?
It's not steps so much because it uses a magnetic encoder. So you can look up the specs on the chip, which I think was the AS5600. I think it's probably 8-bit. You know, it was definitely high enough res that you could tell the position, but you're not going to get maybe 16-bit resolution, probably like 8 or so 250 steps.
Okay. What would be a good way for the Feather Huzzah to communicate with C# script?
If you have C# running on your computer, you can control it over the UART, so the Huzzah has a USB to serial converter built in, or you can use the Wi-Fi communication. You can have the Huzzah be an access point or connect to your local Wi-Fi and then send data over, you know, a socket, basically.
Okay. What board would you recommend for a pulse heartbeat sensing wearable?
We have the Arduino pulse sensor. I think that's actually what it's called, it's like this pulse sensor. It's a little clip that you can clip onto your ear or your finger, and it gives you an analog output. It's super easy to use.
Tony D, is there any way to get CircuitPython on Arduino Uno?
On an Uno, no, unfortunately. AVR is 8-bit, like 2 kilobytes of memory. We're not that good at getting Python there yet. So, but you know, look at a Metro M0, something like that. It's really nice.
What's the best battery and power boost to get a Raspberry Pi 3 to run 10 hours? They're making a tablet.
For 10 hours, I'd grab one of our 6,000 milliamp hour batteries. That should do it, but it depends a little bit about what you're running. If there's a lot of Wi-Fi and a big screen, you might not be able to get 10 hours. It's a challenge, right? This is why early tablets only ran for 2 hours or so. Even they had huge batteries. It's a challenge to get power optimization. The Raspberry Pi is not power optimized.
Okay. Next up, someone has one of the 2.5-inch TFT LCDs. Could it be directly wired to the Pi, avoiding the AV port?
The NTSC output LCDs, no, you kind of have to use them directly with the AV connection. If you want to have a TFT that doesn't use the AV port, check out the Pi TFT, you plug it in, and it uses 5 GPIO pins instead.
For the U-block devices that we showed.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's from Don't Ask. No, sorry.
Don't Ask.
You tried to, you know.
Oh, they're tricking you.
They're trying to trick me because there's questions. Yeah. It's not out yet. Can't ask. Okay, those are the questions tonight.
All right, sweet.
Ooh, all right. We want to give something away tonight,
Giving
right?
away.
What do you want to give away tonight?
I'm
What are the rules?
The rules are you can only win once per lifetime. We're going to give away one of the Parallax high-speed servos.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So handy. You'll enjoy the servo very much. Use it in a robotics or mechatronics project.
Okay.
It's super easy to enter. All you have to do is call the phone number when it gets on the screen. And I'm going to ask you your name, where you're calling from, and a project you've worked on or you want to work on. That's pretty much it. If you answered those questions, I will give you a feedback servo.
Okay, ready?
Yes. So call this number.
The phone lines are almost
Now.
open.
Operators standing by.
In a second.
One operator. Operator is standing by.
All right.
Singular.
Close. That's the phone number. On Bitstab.
Call this number.
Yeah.
Hello, you've reached Ask Engineer. Congratulations, you're the winner.
Oh, wow!
Wow! Congratulations. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Matthew, I'm calling from Honolulu, Hawaii.
Wow.
Ooh, Hawaii.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hawaii. That's first person from Hawaii.
All
Well,
right.
thank you so much. Sorry, you said your name was Matt?
Matt, yeah.
Yeah. All right, Matt from Hawaii. Well, congratulations. You're the winner of a fabulous Parallax feedback servo. I hope it finds a good home in Hawaii. Is there a project you're working on or you want to work on you'd like to tell us about?
I was thinking that would work good with some robotics programs I'm working with Boy Scouts. So.
Oh,
Oh, Boy Scouts.
that's awesome. Yeah, this is super cool. Well, I'm so glad you called. You're the perfect person to win this fabulous prize. All you have to do is email support@adafruit.com and tell them you've won a 3614. Is that the right number?
Yep.
3614. That'll make it easy for them to pick up the right item and ship it to you so fast. Thank you so much for calling.
Oh, awesome. Thanks.
All right. Well, have a great night or morning, wherever you are.
Aloha.
It's daytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good day.
Hello.
All right, have a good night.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
That's cool. Hawaii.
Yeah.
That's actually
Yeah.
Hawaii.
Yeah, we're starting to hit the globe with this.
Worldwide. We
Yeah.
haven't not yet reached somebody, I think, well, we Canadians.
ISS?
We had one Canadian.
ISS hasn't called yet.
Not
Yeah.
yet.
Call us,
Nobody from
ISS.
Europe. But
Right.
people from Europe are free to call. You can call from anywhere in the world as long as you can reach that number.
Okay, well, that's the show for tonight, everyone. Thank you, Tony, for hanging out at
Live
Adafruit.
demo.
Super
Coming to
happy.
Maker
Yeah.
for all your work that you're doing for all the people that you help out
Prize
there.
winner.
Yeah. Yeah, Maker Fair awarded Adafruit a Maker Fair ribbon. And they wanted us to, it's editor choice.
Cool.
We did,
For the coverage
talks
and
and
everything we
more.
did,
Yes,
yeah,
everything.
Well, you can
Excellent.
see my head. Hey. That's my head.
Yeah. We'll be back here next week.
What's the code?
Oh, right. Thanks, Tony.
Yeah.
It's almost we worked this out in advance. It's super chill.
Super chill.
Excellent. Yeah.
It's super chill. And we'll see everybody next week. I think we have some fun videos that we'll be streaming now that we're back to a streaming
Yeah.
schedule. Hopefully.
We got a whole bunch of guides done. I got through 10 samples today.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
Cool.
Adafruit team here, remote, all the Adafruit community, everyone in Discord, everyone in all the different channels. Like, subscribe, subscribe, share.
No.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Good enough.
Actually, maybe just tell someone something nice. And
Tell someone in person. How about
Yeah,
that?
I
'Cause
think
everything's
that's-
all digital.
Yeah,
Go out
like-
and tell a friend or something.
like
Check
hitting
it
the
out.
plus
Yeah.
one is kind of nice, but you can also like, hey, like, keep up the good
Talk
work.
to a real person.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Here is a picture of Bossfet the cat. And I'm going to speed around through some photos of Maker before I go. Dorothy stopped by. Janelle from SparkFun stopped by. Heather stopped by. Lady Ada at the Maker Fair. Lady Ada at the Tindy and Hackaday booth. Here is the Hackaday 3D printed thing. Lady Ada at the Arduino booth. Lady Ada at the 2600 booth making a phone call to me, which is right next to it.
That was cool.
Kids were really confused by that. I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
2600 van. Emmanuel Goldstein and Lady Ada. 3 people who do Wednesday night hacker shows in one photo. Alex and Lamar, Alex and Nook and Lamar. Folks from Discord who visited. Allie, Sally, Ada. Suzuki booth with
Gigantic Metro.
and Circuit Playground. Matt. More people meeting Lady Ada. Some Adafruit team members. Sean from SparkFun. This project I can't see the text that I wrote underneath it, but it was a really cool project. Really cool person. And it was a full house.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
wow.
standing
Tony's
room
top.
only.
That was a good. Yeah.
Tony's talk. So thank you, everybody. Here's Masa again.
Good
Yeah.
night.
Here's your moment of Zener. Bye, everybody.